This is the Artist Entrepreneur Podcast. We are your hosts, Amanda Ritchie, Noah Dock, and me, Kerry Wee. We're three artists brought together by the love of circus and dance. Amanda from the world of Cirque du Soleil as an aerial soloist. Noah, our academic, and me from the commercial dance world. This is one of the greatest jobs in the world, but it comes with uncertainty. Each episode contains insight on how to pursue art-based businesses. We'll have a variety of guests and have lively weekly Discord. Tune in every week to hear our perspectives on the minefield that is the artist's way of life.
Hello, my dear.
You're fired.
Why am I fired? You're the one who...
Can't fire him.
I'm here. You were late.
And no, it's because yesterday you didn't come.
Yeah, well, yesterday I couldn't come either way. So that was unfair. Unfair firing. Hi.
Well, hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Oh my goodness, we're starting with a big yawn from Noah.
Yeah. Big yawns.
Are you having a rough week?
I don't know if rough is the right answer, but I'm definitely tired.
So, listeners, let's just be transparent here. We're actually doing two check-ins on the same week because I am going to be out of town for a week, and I thought I'd just get both of these guys. So the short update from me, Noah, is that I've had an ear infection for like a week. And yesterday when I talked to Amanda, I bitched and moaned about my left ear being clogged for like 8 days now.
I got your text in the group chat. I had no context, and I just got a text from you that says, I did have an ear infection. And I was like, I don't know how that subject came up, but okay, cool. I trust you.
Yeah, because I had so much pressure. Anyways, so I went through this whole thing yesterday trying to figure out if I was going to go to urgent care today to try to like do something about it. And from everybody has told me, they're like, you have to be patient with your antibiotics and you might have a really rough flight tomorrow.
Mm.
But my flight's not super long. I only have like one short flight and then one less than 3 hour flight.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Houston to Mexico. I mean, it might hurt, but that's what tequila's for. That's what I was telling Amanda.
Yeah, I mean, just chew some gum. Keep popping your ears.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Popping it.
Popping it, locking it.
Popping and locking it. I was just telling her that like it's really obnoxious to have a blocked ear for an entire week. I've never experienced this before.
Yeah.
Have you?
Oh yeah. Oh, I get sinus infections like 3 times a year, and
is it from being on the mountain?
No, I'm just lucky that way.
Oh goodness. Okay, so we actually had a great check-in. So listeners, I'm going to Mexico, but I haven't actually spoken to Noah in 2 weeks maybe.
Well, I'm glad you guys had a good check-in because this one I'm sure will be awful.
Why do you say that?
I don't know if I have much to talk about, and I'm very tired.
I'll let you simmer a little bit before I ask you for your update, but I wanted to talk to you about this probably more than Amanda because she's not really as like kind of plugged into the dance world.
Uh-huh.
She's definitely on the circus side of things. And we had a huge loss this week in the commercial dance world.
We did.
Dave Scott. And I've been like bummed out is the words being. So with this huge loss, okay, so for the listeners, if you don't know who Dave Scott is, he's in the commercial dance industry. He's a hip-hop dancer, choreographer, creative director. He's worked on So You Think You Dance. He is the person behind like Stomp the Yard, You Got Served, all that style that was like...
Step Up as well, right?
Step Up as well. I think so. I'll fact check us on that. So I knew him personally. I worked with him personally. And this hits me so hard when it's somebody from the dance community, not because he was such a mainstay in my everyday life, although I did see him a lot in the last couple years because he lived at like in NoHo West in North Hollywood. There's like a Trader Joe's, like there's all these shops, and then there's apartments in that same property, and he lived there. And me and Bean used to go there all the time. There's a park there. We went to the grocery store there.
Did he really live there?
Yeah, you remember Dave now? Yeah, he had a condo there.
I bet I bet I bet I walked by him 1,000 times because I live down the street and that's where we go to the dog park.
I think we ran to him.
We did run into him.
Oh my gosh, how will I remember him now?
I don't know anybody who looks like him because his beard is so full and he shaves a line there and like he's really tall and he wears glasses most of the time. Whenever we lose somebody in our dance industry, it's a very weird feeling for me because it's weird to feel so close to somebody that you didn't really spend that much time with. You know, because number one, I actually had a personal connection to him. And number two, he influenced culture. He influenced the culture of the world, this man. Dancers all over the world were inspired by him. People who are not dancers are inspired by him. He brought culture to the world. And there's two things I wanted to say about that. Number one, it is still a complete travesty that choreographers do not have a contract with SAG, which for listeners out there, SAG-AFTRA is our union. And I was at the last meeting where it basically like we showed our support for the choreographers to get their contracts, but like it was just not enough leverage to get the contract over the producers because there's so few choreographers. I mean, if you think about it, like every actor, dancer, you get a SAG contract, you get residuals from movies. Choreographers, they put their stamp on the entire world and they just walk away with a day rate.
Mm. Yeah.
And it's messed up. Like they're literally influencing culture in our entire world and they don't have they can't really make the money that an actor can or even that a stunt person can. So that's number one. Number two, like as a person who knew him closely, it's just like he's so young now. He's 52.
Yeah.
I mean, he's only 4 years older than me. He's not, it's just like I'm not sure what actually happened, but I'm pretty sure it was a health scare type of situation that happened. Health emergency. Yeah, Noah, would you confirm that pretty much everybody in the dance industry has heard of this guy?
I would say most people have. Yeah, I would say a lot of people who, I think it's funny the SAG conversation, because part of I think what is challenging to look at or to think about with regard to David Scott, if you're gonna look at it from that point of view, is that a lot of people know his work, but they don't know who he is. Yes, us as dancers, people who engage with the world in a professional way, know who he is and know him by name and know what he did because we're engaged with the world. However, the amount of people, and I'm going to fact check this right now. I think the interesting thing about the SAG part of this and the fact that, we as dancers, people who engage with the dance world, we know who Dave Scott is. We know because we're engaged with the world. However, there are so many people out there who know Dave Scott's work without knowing who Dave Scott is. I did look this up. He did choreograph Step Up. And
okay.
I think it's I'm probably unique in this, but I was a dancer who never saw Step Up. I never watched Step Up. I wasn't a big dance movie person. Even when I became a dancer, I didn't really like dance movies. The only one I ever liked was actually, if you remember, Take the Lead with Antonio Banderas. I loved that movie.
No. Okay, wait. Are you too young to have lived through the whole backstage, or I'm sorry, center stage phenomenon?
No, not at all. But I just didn't like, it just wasn't for me. But I remember because I started dancing when I was 14, I remember when people were like, oh, well, do you love Step Up? Oh, well, do you love, these movies? And I was like, no, I don't really know these movies. But these people who were not dancers, who did know these movies, who loved these movies, were all watching Dave Scott's choreography. And they all knew this choreography. And they all loved this choreography. And not to like make a, the world has changed and TikTok and Instagram and all that shit, but like to a certain extent, this was like the first learning dances like that. People were learning Dave Scott's dances from these movies without necessarily knowing who Dave Scott was, because they wanted to just have fun and dance. And so I didn't know Dave Scott personally. I knew him from like as a dancer. I know who he is. I remember watching So You Think You Can Dance. I had friends who knew him and who worked with him. I do think it's strange in the choreography world and dance world that choreographers receive a day rate, that they don't, I'm going to say, hold on to their artistic work and get paid.
Yeah, they have like no, what's it called?
Residuals.
Intellectual property. Yeah. It's so crazy thinking about that. They don't have intellectual property of it.
Yeah, I do think that's fucked up.
It's insane.
I think ironically, the things that will probably change that are not necessarily the choreography and dance, but actually movement work. I think people like, what's his name who plays Gollum? Andy Serkis.
Yes.
People doing movement work and motion capture and things like that. I think that has a higher chance of sort of engaging people to think about movement and dance in a intellectual property kind of way. It's a hard thing when I think somebody in the industry in which you work, who you've been inspired by, passes away. And he's definitely a celebrity. He's definitely somebody that a lot of people, especially in the hip hop world, look up to. And yeah.
I mean, he touched so many lives. The fact that like I'm having this conversation all week and he has touched people's lives in so many different ways, either just through his movies or in actual people's lives. Personally, I have a hard time. Like, for example, a couple years ago, I'm not sure when it happened, but Andre Fuentes passed away, and he was a choreographer. He danced for Britney Spears at her heyday, and he was a friend of mine, and he passed away drug related. And for me, it's like so strange because they're not in your everyday life. But I spent.
You said he was so young.
Yeah, I was young. I don't know. Noah, I don't know if you resonate with this, but like people that you spend a very unique part of your life with, like it was a unique time. And so our memories are so strong. It wasn't just like, oh, I went to school with that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it was a very unique time in my career that they were in my life. It for sure, I wish I was in LA right now so I could be with that community. That's how that was the first thought I had. Like, I wish I was in LA just this week, but that's hard too, because even though we're all connected on Instagram and TikTok and stuff, people aren't necessarily there anymore either. You know what I'm saying? So many of those dancers who were there at the time kind of moved to different places. But yeah, it just makes me want to be with community, or like, go
take a class.
Yeah, or even just go to his funeral,
Yeah.
Whatever events they're going to have around that. But anyway, so I wanted to talk to you about that because, I didn't ask Amanda if she knew who he was, but I figured, dancer world, we know.
When was it? Tuesday? Was it Tuesday?
It was the 16th. I don't know what day of the week it was.
It was 17th.
It was the 17th? I think it was the 6th. We found out the 17th. It happened on the 16th. He does have a kid. He's only 52.
But where's his kid?
I don't know. In LA, I think, Bean.
But I think his kid is really, really super duper sad.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, do you know what she said to me this morning? She said, Mommy, I don't want kids.
What did Noah say?
And I'm telling him the story, and I said, why? He's like, because I don't want to stay home and do all this work.
Oh my God, that's such a good answer.
Okay, sorry.
That's such a
Oh my God, so on
good
point.
reason. What an amazing reason and response. I love that.
I know.
Uh,
I mean, my sister at some point said this to my mom too. Like, I don't want to be like you, mommy, when I grow up. I want to go work full time, you know?
yeah,
And
because that's much less work.
Still like mommy.
well, yeah, I mean, and I told her I'm not just home because I have to be. I like want to be with you. And she thought for a second about that. So, anyways, my closing thoughts on this is just that, like, who knows what he would have made more art in his life. And it's just kind of it's such a shame, you know, like, of course he could have just been a human living on an island and never put out work again. And it would still be, you know, his life is, you know, everybody's life is so precious that way. But for somebody who is like in the public eye, who created so much, who added so much to culture, like,
Yeah, and at a time where like dance was really entering that I'm gonna say not public eye. Public eye is the wrong word. Um, more commercial eye, and in a place where you know people were going, where people you know were going, whoa, dance and hip hop dance in movies like that, like with big celebrities and things like that. Not that you know dance hasn't been in movies since you know the early days, but this was a huge pop culture change.
I mean, when you got served out, it was like, oh, this is new.
Oh yeah,
You know, like this type of dance, we didn't see this type of dance before, you know?
yeah,
Not on the big screen.
yeah, definitely not on the big screen.
I also think that like there will be more heydays of everything. Like the dance world kind of goes ebbs and flows, and there's big explosions, and then it sits back a little bit. But I really, really was there for like the 20 years when it was like erupting.
Yeah,
And I think about that. And, you know, the whole thing we had earlier in the year where I've come to terms with my financial decisions. And that was such a hard thing for me to do when it comes to like coming to terms with the decisions I made that put me in a financial position that was not ideal. But that's part of what I got in return.
yeah,
Like I was a part of all of that in a way that wouldn't have been, it would have been way different if I had waited. You know, I got there. I thought I came late because like the real boom happened right before like Britney Spears came out. And that was like a year before I moved. And I always like kicked myself for not going a year before. But then how would I have felt if I had waited 5 years, you know? So at times like this, I'm just so grateful I made those decisions, even though they kind of put me in a place where I'm having to hustle now. But at the same time, I might have had to hustle no matter what in the same type, you know, you don't know what's going to happen.
hindsight's 2020, right? You know, and you could have done this, you could have done that, or you know, what did you do? Where did you engage with the world? You know, you could have been there a year earlier and nothing would have happened, or you could have been there a year earlier and been dancing with Britney Spears. You have no idea. But you know, the I think what's interesting is like the boom, the excitement, and then like the lull.
Mm-hmm.
And then the boom again. You know, I would argue that we're somewhere between a lull and a boom right now. Like I think that
we're definitely we're not in a boom right now. We're somewhere in between.
There are some great moments, like things that come out that we go, wow, that's like, you know, I would make arguments that, you know, Abracadabra, Lady Gaga was like, wow, look at that. That's so great.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily from a dance perspective, in my opinion, but like, wow, look at that. Or, you know, some of Jungle's music videos that come out and people see that and they go, oh, wow, this is like a really great, like cool thing, but it's not, they're small jumps in, I would say, just like a sort of monotone lull that we're in right now of like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
oh, that's cool. As opposed to like, wow, this next thing is really cool. Oh my God. And now the next one is cool. Oh my gosh. And
Yeah,
now,
not like a revolutionary time necessarily.
yeah, we're not getting more and
Comes and
more and more and
goes.
more and more. I think part of that is that we just have, there's so much content out there. There's just so much coming out.
There's
Like
so much.
it's hard to be like it's hard to stay on top of it all and feel like, oh yeah, like we have a constant trajectory going up. It's like, no, we have a constant trajectory of content being made and things existing, but it's not necessarily getting better. It's just being made. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, when Wicked came out, I felt like, wow, like that shit was amazing. Did you see Wicked in the theaters?
Really? Should we have a Wicked conversation right now? Because we have very different opinions.
Oh, not a fan? No, Doc?
The movie did not do it for me.
Really? Okay. Did you know the story already?
Yeah, of course. I've seen it.
I did not actually. I'd never seen it on Broadway.
Oh, so you don't know what's going to happen in Wicked for Good?
Actually, and I'm so glad that I don't know because at least I can have that experience. So I'm like staying far away from it. I almost read the book at some point and then didn't. I never saw it on Broadway because there's many years in there I just never saw any Broadway. Okay, so actually I think probably I have the more like common like thoughts on it. What? Tell me, please.
Well, what are your thoughts on it? I want to hear yours first, and then because I also want to make sure that I don't ruin anything for you as you go into the next one.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, the movie ends with Cynthia Erivo singing "Gravity," "Defying Gravity," right?
Mm-hmm.
Her and oh my God, why can't I think of her name?
Ariana Grande.
Ariana Grande's character. Yeah, they decided that they are actually not the same because, one wants to stay inside the structure of society and the other one needs to leave. And they love each other, and they're now separated. And now Elphaba is out and in exiled. That's how the movie ends, right? That's part one of the film. And when it came to I'm not a singer, but so vocally I was just like floored. I was very impressed with both of the actresses equally actually. And, I thought the dancing was just like a joy to watch. But please.
Ready for the hate mail? The hate mail for our podcast?
I don't know if you're ready for are you ready for the hate mail that's going to come at you for Wicked?
Yeah, I'm totally ready.
Okay.
So I've seen the play.
Okay.
I know the story. I think that everything you said so far is very true. That they both did an amazing job. I think the music was fantastic. I'm going to say the good things. I think that the best way that you can now see Wicked. Are you ready? The best way that you can now experience Wicked is to go to the Hollywood Bowl and see when they bring the live orchestra to play the music along with the movie,
Mm-hmm.
and when they bring the actors and actresses to sing the pieces. That is the best way that you're going to be able to experience Wicked now moving forward, because the idea that they took the Wicked score and the music of like a pit orchestra, which is a smaller orchestra, and they gave it to a cinema orchestra, massive orchestra. I mean, it makes the music infinitely better. It is so amazing to hear in that way, and that is a fact. That is just an absolute fact. To hear the music of Wicked done with this, like, I don't know, 100-piece orchestra or whatever is.
And if you don't live in LA, you're just screwed.
And if you don't live in LA, fly to LA and go to the Hollywood Bowl when it happens. Genuinely, I do think that one day when they do that, it's going to be fucking amazing. I thought Ariana Grande did a fairly good job. I thought when she did Popular was great. I did, however,
Popular was great.
feel there were times where she was Ariana Grande and she
Okay,
was not
yeah.
Glinda.
And you couldn't get Ariana out of your head. It wasn't. What's the character's name?
Glinda.
Philippa and
Glin-
Glinda. It wasn't Glinda. It was Ariana.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there were
Okay.
times where I felt like she was just, Ariana Grande, and there were times where she was Glinda. And in Popular, she
Is
was
it
definitely Glinda.
possible? Is it possible to get Ariana out of your head, even though
Yeah.
she's supposed to be playing Glinda? Do you think?
Yeah, because I also
I don't know if it's.
I,
I don't know if it's under some
I
percent
don't I
possible.
don't spend a lot of time seeing Ariana Grande. Like, I don't listen to a lot of Ariana Grande music.
Mm.
I don't, see a lot of, like, I've never been to one of her concerts. I don't really know how she is as a human being. Um, but you can tell when somebody's acting and when somebody's not, somebody's trying to act. And I would say
Mm.
there were times where I was like, she's trying to act right now.
Okay. Okay.
My biggest here were my biggest problems with the movie. Okay. The first was they made a massive ordeal, and all, like, their press tour and all of this was all about how they used these practical effects, and they built the set, and they planted all the
Mm-hmm.
poppies or whatever tulips,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they built the buildings, and they did all these things. And then the whole thing was CGI'd. The whole, like, even the sets that they built had, like, all this bad CGI, like, overlaid on top of it. And I was like, you could have, like, I'm, good for you for building things, but you then put CGI on top of everything. So it was kind of a waste. Like, you didn't, you talked this big game about all these practical effects, and then you didn't really use them. And that bothered me. Like, there was, I think it was When I Meet the Wizard, and one of my other points is about this scene as well, was, like, Cynthia Erivo's, like, walking through the university, and, like, they built the university, but there were CGI'd vines and, like, fake frogs and water and, like, all this sparkling bullshit that was, like, bad CGI. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, you built the set. Like, build this.
Like, just
like,
go with
go
it.
with it.
Right.
I don't know why you put so much CGI behind this when you talk so much about how we're going to build everything. That bothered me. I thought that my second point is that I thought that they didn't find a balance between movie and musical. I thought that there are musicals that feel like, you're going to the theater, and that's the point. You're going to the theater, that's the experience. And then there are movies that are made out of musicals that capture the essence but are movies. And the example I'm going to use is Sweeney Todd. I think that Sweeney Todd is a musical. Live theater is one thing on its own. And Sweeney Todd, the movie, is a totally different thing, but it captures the essence and it stands alone as a movie musical. This was like they couldn't decide. There were parts of it that they were like, we want this to feel like theater. And there were other parts of it they were like, we want this to feel like a movie. And it pulled me in two different directions, and I wanted them to just choose one. And I'm going to use that same, like, When I Meet the Wizard, because it's one of my favorite examples. She's, like, walking through the school, and then she goes out into this field, and she's, like, standing on the, like, cliffs overlooking the ocean or something, and there's the field, and there's the school in the background, and it's supposed to be, like, this big moment, but because it's a movie and we're seeing it on a screen and we have this place that they've quote unquote built, but it's actually CGI, we're focused on this bigger picture as opposed to just this moment and the song. And when you're seeing it on stage, right, what's happening on stage? Well, there's a spotlight on the character. The background is dimmed out and you're just focused on this person. But because it's the movie, the whole background was lit, but the background was empty. There wasn't any, like, it was just a CGI field. Like, it wasn't interesting. There wasn't anything like going on. And so we're trying to focus on her in this moment, but we have this whole image that just kind of felt dull and empty. And I felt like they needed to go one way or the other, and they were somewhere in the middle. My third point,
okay,
is
I'll hold my questions till the end.
My third point. I have 4 points. My third point is they talked about the director. What was the director's name?
John
Chu.
John Chu?
Yes. They talked about how innovative and how wonderful and magnificent this was, and I just, the cinematography did not blow me away. There was nothing about this movie that felt new. It felt like they took Wicked and they put it on screen. There was nothing that I was like, wow, I've never seen this before. Wow, I never, even some of the cinematography, and I thought the lighting was kind of poorly done.
Oh, you guys, we are going to start getting hate mail for this episode for Noah.
I thought some of it was poorly done.
Okay, by the way, I'm gonna just pause you because I was talking about like doing a poll of who's your favorite co-host.
Oh,
and we were decided that Noah's going to get it, but maybe this will put you down like
definitely
2
put me
notches.
down. But if you go back and watch it, like, look at some of the lighting, like, look at some of the way. And I know this is so technical and fucking whatever, but if you look at some of the lighting in, like, when Elphaba is looking at, Glinda and Fiyero and things like that, you're like, who lit this shot? Like, this is weird. And then, okay, here's my last piece. This is my thesis for why I did not like it. The concepts of the movie. The animals losing their voices. It's conversation in society, in race, in otherism, in so many things. Okay. The animals are losing their voice, they're losing their rights, they're losing everything. It's such a fucking good story. It's such a fucking good point. It's such a good conversation. Now, in the play, when you see it on Broadway or wherever, the animals are played by people. They are dressed up. They are, they're wearing costumes, but they are people, which means that they walk like people, they move like people, and they have, what is the word? I'm going to be anthropomorphized. Is that right? And
maybe
anthropomorphism, the attribution of human characteristics. Maybe I'm saying it wrong, but anthropomorphism is the attribution of human characteristics or behavior. So they're anthropomorphized. They have human characteristics, right? Because they're people playing animals.
Mm-hmm.
And in the movie, they're animals,
CGI animals
that are CGI'd and they're moving like animals. And my argument is that the issue with Wicked is that they Lion King'd the animals and they didn't Zootopia the animals. And what they should have done is they should have made it so that the animals were anthropomorphized, whatever. They should have stood up and walked like people. They should have had human characteristics instead of like the goat, the professor. He walks around like a goat does. The cheetah moves like a cheetah, the whatever. They should be moving like humans. they should be moving in that way because A, it would make them more relatable to us as humans who are the watchers of the movie, but also B, it makes the change and the dehumanization of the animals a greater change and more impactful if they're going from an anthropomorphic point to a completely animalistic point. And it is more relatable for us, and it makes a more, I think, substantial impact to show that dehumanization, because that's the whole conversation. That's the whole sociological, political, racial conversation that they're having in the movie and in the show is, taking these people and taking their rights and taking their humanity, taking their value in this world away, and making them second-class citizens and taking away their voice. And I think that they needed to Zootopia them. I think they needed to make them more human-like and move like humans instead of Lion King, where they're animals moving like animals. They just can talk. And I think that was a huge mistake.
I don't even have words for this, because let me tell you, Noah, that was like I kind of wish that, well, you can't go back in time, but that we actually did this when Wicked was out. Because actually, I don't actually have a lot to argue with that, because I've never seen it on Broadway. And so when I think of it from that perspective, and I'm meeting these characters for the first time, yeah, I didn't really humanize that goat for whatever reason. Yeah, so I, as a viewer, did not necessarily, maybe it would have brought the whole point home to me stronger as a viewer had the animal been like Paddington Bear, in the movie. And it's already fantastical. You can do whatever you want. It's a talking goat, right? Having said that, okay, so I, as a lover of movies and dance, don't love movie musicals generally.
Fair.
There are very few that I'll watch or watch even again. Very few. So I have to say that. I have to say the only movie musical that really stuck with me was Chicago. And everything else, it's hard because it's there is a point to it. Not everybody has access to Broadway. Either because you're not going to New York, you're not going to LA, you're not seeing a show that's, traveling to San Antonio, because I don't want to spend $70 a ticket for me and my family, So I'm not that exposed right now. And so the movie is a very accessible way to be exposed. If you're a family that has never seen Wicked, to see it on film with Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, that is a big thumbs up. It will add to your life. But for sure, I don't love, it's hard because I love dance and music and movies, and I don't love musicals on film.
I don't love musicals, period.
Oh, really? I love musicals, just not on film.
I usually only there's a handful of musicals I like. Most of them I don't. Wicked is sort of one that's in between. I really liked it, even though it is sort of cheesy and has all the things that typically I don't like of musicals. But what I like about it is the message that I talked about, this dehumanization, this political, social conversation, racial conversation, and this idea of voice. The story, the fact that it is a Wizard of Oz thing, and all those pieces, and this anti-hero hero piece, those are all great things, and I'm hopeful that we're going to see a lot more of it in the second one. My good friend and colleague, we had this conversation because he loved it. I mean, he's obsessed. He could not say more good things about it. And
was he upset with you for longer than a couple minutes?
No, he was not upset with me for longer than a couple minutes. And he did understand what I was coming from with the animal thing. He did get it. And actually, it was kind of his argument, the John Chu thing, that like there was nothing really innovative going on. That was actually his point, which I thought was interesting. But his hope is that For Good will be darker because it should be, based on what happens. And he hopes that they're going to lean into that a little bit more. My favorite, and I think it's interesting because you haven't read it, you haven't seen it. I think what's interesting, I saw it with my friend who had also never seen it before and knew nothing about it. And my favorite piece of feedback that she said walking out of it, she goes, it was my favorite thing ever. She goes, "Why does there need to be a part 2?" She was like, I don't understand. Like, the Wicked Witch is the Wicked Witch now. Glinda is the Good Witch. Like, the wizard is in charge. Like, why does it? What happens in what could possibly happen in part 2? Dorothy shows up, and then you have
a lot happens in part 2.
Right. But she was like,
right.
But to me, like, Dorothy shows up, and you have the next and it's the Wizard of Oz. Like, what happens in part 2?
Right, it's the next installment.
Right. And I was like, wow, I never thought about it that way. That's really funny. I do love what you said, like that. Yeah, not everybody has access to Broadway. Not everybody has access to go see a live show, and movie musicals are definitely a way to experience it. I think that, like I said, I think there's good movie musicals. There's musicals that are good live musicals, and there's movie versions of those musicals that are good. And I think that there are also bad versions of those musicals that are. It's like it's the same issue that you have with anything. If you take a book and you turn it into a movie, or you take a musical and turn it into a movie, or whatever, the transition from one platform to another will always have challenges and will always have.
Yeah, it's gonna be tricky.
It will always be tricky. Is there a right way to do it? I don't think there's a formula, but I think that we can all agree that, like, there are good ones and there are bad ones, and some of them work, some of them don't. But it's finding that balance.
I was going to say, note to self, if I ever find Noah on the Zoom super grumpy, just go to him with a dance topic.
Yeah.
And boom!
I do like talking about dance.
He lights up.
Even if it's dance I don't like. No. I thought the choreography in Wicked was actually very good, and I was actually, part of my cinematography qualm is that whole library scene with the rotating bookshelves and the circles and things like that. I saw all this great, like, behind the scenes footage of that, and again, to harp on cinematography and stuff, I felt like we didn't actually get to see, like, half of the cool stuff that they did and half of the cool choreography they made in that scene. And especially not only from a dance background, but a circus background. Like, it's such a cool circus platform. Like, it's bars, it's rotation. It's like, they took a lot of inspiration in my mind from, like German Wheel and Wheel of Death and some trapeze and things like that. And we didn't really get to see any of it. And I was like, this would have been so much cooler.
Yeah, it's almost like they had a dance. Well, Chris Scott's a dance choreographer, but like they almost needed a circus choreographer for that scene.
Yeah.
But of course, that's where we think, because we're circus people, or at least I've got a toe in circus and you've got half of a body in circus. Yeah, Yeah, I also feel like cutting room floor happens. You know what I'm saying? Like so much
totally
cool
cutting
stuff
room
just
floor.
ends up gone. To take it back out to like the greater world is that like putting your stamp on like dance and music, putting their stamp on culture. And it's just so important. And I feel like, that part of, dance gets like marginalized so much, but it adds so much to our lives and to culture.
Yeah.
I guess that's the only word for it.
I mean, think about the amount of people who went and saw this movie, who are going to go see the second one, who learned the dances and put them on TikTok and Instagram, and who now love this music. And like, I mean, not for nothing, they killed it from a popularity standpoint. I want to be popular. They killed it from a popularity standpoint. People have access to this, and it has, at least for the last year and a half, and for the next probably year and a half, it's a cultural phenomenon from a musical, dance, and I would say from a musical and dance perspective, not from a movie's perspective.
Can you believe at the end of the day, Chris Scott got a day rate for his work? He got paid for his days.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No residuals. Dancers get residuals, like the people he directs. Anyways, I have a huge problem with this. At some point in our lives, maybe we'll get this changed. Not soon enough for all these choreographers that are just like leaving their stamp on the world and like don't really have anything to show for it. So it's an ongoing conversation. I actually love that we got into dance this time. I don't think it happens very much on this podcast, but it's such a big part of our lives.
Yeah, and I got to shit on Wicked for 30 minutes, which I'm always
oh my God. So when the second one comes out,
oh yeah,
we'll do an episode where we review it.
I'm sure my feelings are going to be similar, but I'm hopeful. I hope they lay into, without, giving away too much to you, Kerry, but like, everyone should rewatch the opening of the first one before they watch the second one, because
I do know that it's going to get dark. I do know that. Come here, Bean. Come, say goodbye. So listeners, you're not going to have any interruption because I'm recording these and making sure you guys have these episodes while I'm gone. But when I come back, then I'll give an update, and hopefully Noah will be in a really good mood to give a really good update next time. Go ahead, Bean.
When are you back?
Bye. Next Saturday.
She just burped into the mic.
You're back next week?
Next Saturday.
Okay, so we'll have like maybe 2 weeks before I leave.
Bye, mister.
Bye, Bean.
Thank you so much for tuning in. You can find Amanda Ritchie at Grounded in Flight on Instagram and at Noah Doc on Instagram, as well as Red Flags app. And me, Kerry Wee, you can find at wrapyourheadaroundsilks.com. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. We have so much more coming at you, including guests that are in this art world, that are blazing their way through new businesses, and just more banter from us. Thank you for listening. This is The Artist Entrepreneur.